Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast, courtesy of Odyssey. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron, talking with you. Of course, a lot of Charger football, getting ready for the big Monday night game against the Colts. Also, Christmas weekend. So we spoke a little bit about the Christmas holidays and the excitement of getting together with family. Family football holidays is really nothing like it. But as the Chargers get ready, guys, first of all, I'm taking on the Colts in just a few days. We know a few things that we didn't know about before in our last show. And that's that Jonathon Taylor, as we said, is gone for the year with the high ankle sprain. But now there's a new quarterback for the Colts, which benefits the Chargers maybe a little bit more, maybe it doesn't. But Nick Foles gets a chance to step in and be the quarterback for the Colts to see if things are going to be a little bit different for Jeff Saturday. When you guys hear that, hey, Matt Ryan, you're going to the bench again, and Nick Foles is going to be the guy, does that help or hurt the Chargers?
I think it helps. It's a tough question because Nick Foles is the unknown. We know that Matt Ryan sucks, right? We all know Matt Ryan's terrible, but Nick Foles is his backup, so you'd assume the backup's worse than the starter. Nick Foles also has a Super Bowl ring, so you kind of don't know what Nick Foles brings to the table. I think both aren't very good, so I think the Chargers should be fine either way, but it does scare me a little bit that you don't know what Nick Foles is gonna do.
He's kind of like the wild card. That's what they brought in was the wild card. Like if you're in Pokemon, it's that like ball they sprawl out of the back pocket and you're like, that's either going to be good or bad. I don't know yet. That's kind of how I feel about Nick Foles. It's bad in terms of when you go for preparation, there's not a lot of film of him in the Colts offense. And you have to go back to preseason, which that's dealing with third stringers and it's different type of game in that sense. And then it's also the positivity of, hey, we can blitz the living crap out of a backup quarterback. We can really scare the crap out of a backup quarterback. But it is a guy that does say what you want. We are facing a Super Bowl MVP this year.
That is crazy. I was going to use the wild card as well. That's exactly the word I was going to use, Mario, because Nick Foles has only been good with one team. I mean, he's played for a bunch of teams, right? Nick Foles has been with the Eagles twice. He's with the Rams, terrible. He's with the Chiefs, nothing. He's with the Bears. I think he's with the Jaguars. I mean, there's nothing Nick Foles has ever done where you go, man, this guy's consistently good. Everywhere he goes, he helps teams win. He helps one team win. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. And he obviously won a Super Bowl, and he's a hero in Philadelphia forever. He'll never have to buy a cheesesteak sandwich for the rest of his life. But let's see if he can do it for the Colts. I hope he doesn't. Nice guy. I've had a chance to meet him and talk to him once at a Super Bowl, one that he wasn't playing in, and super nice individual. And at the same time, I don't care. I mean, here's the deal. He's on the bad team this week, right? They're nice guys pumping gas at the gas station. That doesn't mean I need him playing quarterback for the Chargers. You understand? Doesn't matter. It's two different things. So I hope the Chargers make this night a horrible experience. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the last game Nick Foles ever plays in the NFL because things go so bad. Sorry. That's the way I feel. You know, I want to see a Charger win. That's all I care about. I don't care if it's Matt Ryan, Nick Foles. I don't care if it's Andrew Luck. It doesn't matter who's playing. I want to see a Charger win. And I think right now this team's gaining momentum. And this is a great time to take advantage of a Colts team that really is looking at the season coming to an end.
You're right. The only player that scares me because Jonathon Taylor is not playing like we said is Michael Pittman. He has 121 targets, 50 more than the next guy, 815 receiving yards, he's having a pretty good season. But this Colts team's bad. And they're really bad. We're talking about the AFC South has always lacked talent. I always felt they have. The Colts fall into that category where they just haven't had a good team put together. They have this offensive line that is underachieved, so you want to kind of take advantage of that. But Michael Pittman is the only guy on that team that really scares you. Do you feel the same way, Mario?
Yeah, Pittman's just, when you look at his body, it's every NFL scout's dream. Like, this is a guy that's just going to be end zone guy constantly. Hey, we're in the red zone, one-on-one matchup, throw it up top, let him go snag it. It's a beauty. It's what you'd ever want in a wide receiver. He does worry me in that type of situation. But on the other side of the ball, the guy that scares me a lot, Stephon Gilmore has been the only guy that's really been playing balls to the wall every single game for the Colts. He's a very good corner. He still has a lot left in him, even after leaving the Patriots. And, you know, let's just say he's not like another corner that left the Patriots. Catching my drift a little bit. But he's played exceptional. He's done a great job against very good, tough receivers. He gave Jefferson, yes, he popped off in the second, but gave Jefferson a pretty hard game last week. So I'm kind of nervous about that matchup, just whether he lines up across from Allen or Williams. He's going to make that day a little bit harder for them. But yeah, Pittman, he's Indy's child a little bit when it comes to football because everyone's like, when's this guy going to be a top 5 receiver in the NFL? He's the potential guy. Just went on his potential. And it's one of those where I don't want to be on the other side of it on Sunday when he finally hits his potential. And you're sitting there going, crap, we just let this guy have 120 receiving yards on us.
So, Marty, you're in Indianapolis right now. I mean, the week is really the talk, of course, about the holidays, right? Everyone's talking about Christmas, and you're in a situation where the weather's actually not great, where it's getting colder and colder, and you're talking about this giant storm that's coming through. Not so much Colts football. If it was a normal Indianapolis year where the Colts were, playing better football, had a chance to win their division, I'm sure people would be extremely fired up about this game. What is the attitude in the city Colts fans right now as far as the Colts season and kind of looking forward to what's next, which I imagine is they're already talking where they're going to pick in the draft?
It's all about draft right now. It's all about like looking at the boards right now going who's going to drop to where, how good's Will Levis, how good's Anthony Richardson, is Anthony Richardson going to go? How good's Bryce Young? Is the size, is he too small? Like, is that going to be a worry? That is the talk of Indy. There's nothing else going on. It is what we're going to do with Matt Ryan's contract at the end of the year. We're going to do with Jonathon Taylor. I've long said to many Colts fans, I think I've said on this pod, that I think you should trade Jonathon Taylor. I think you should trade him for a draft pick because running backs, let's just be honest, there's so many good ones that come out. You can buy one, cheap one, get him for all he's worth, and then trade him. There's the next one coming through. So it's all about the future. It's not about the now right now. For the Chargers, it's about the now. It's about going forward and going into the playoffs. Right now for the Colts, it's, hey, let's enjoy Christmas. Buy one, get one free tickets at Lucas Oil this week. Come see the Chargers, please. Please do something. Legalized betting is in Indiana, so maybe we get a lot of bettors that take the Charger side and Lucas Oil splits 50-50. So I can guarantee you that stadium's not going to be live, not going to be active, because all those fans that you think is going to be at the Colts game, those guys and gals will be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse watching the Pacers instead.
Wow.
Yeah, this game is boring if you're an NFL fan. You're wondering why the hell are the Colts on Monday Night Football? I just watched them blow it last week against the Vikings, and if I'm not mistaken, they were on primetime the week before the Cowboys. Is that 3 weeks in a row that the Colts have been in primetime? Colts have always been one of those teams that I've felt they've always tried to push too much in the spotlight. Never been a fan of the organization. I've never been a fan of Jim Irsay. The team kind of always bothered me. Nothing against the city of Indianapolis. We love Mario, but the Colts have always kind of just I just felt like the Colts have always irked me. I felt like they got lucky, no pun intended, getting Andrew Luck right after Peyton Manning. People probably feel the same way about the Chargers getting Justin Herbert after Phillip Rivers. But if I'm an NFL fan, I'm a little bit upset saying I've watched the Chargers on primetime 7 times. We know what they can do. The Colts are 3 weeks in a row. Why don't we switch it up?
It's funny. There's no flex option, right? Monday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, they have a flex option. We've seen the Chargers have benefited from that. We've also seen low ratings, right? So, for us, we're not on the TV side. We don't care if the ratings are high or low. We know we're going to be watching. The 3 of us are watching, and we have interest in the game. Again, this sets up for the Chargers. All we care about really for us is what is that final scoreboard going to look like? Let's go to Indy. Let's get a win. Let's leave without injuries. Let's move forward to the next one, all right? As Bill Belichick says, on to Cleveland or on to Cincinnati, whatever his famous quote is. But for the Chargers and the Colts in this matchup, a couple things is, as you said, there are injuries all over the place for Indianapolis, offensive and defensive side of the ball. Mario, you brought up an interesting point because we're all NFL fans and we do the fantasy football thing, and a lot of people I know wager on the games. You mentioned trading Jonathon Taylor. I find that fascinating because most people who play fantasy football, Jonathon Taylor was the number 1 pick in the fantasy football draft. You made a comment that I think is extremely accurate, that it's easy to find running backs. Jonathon Taylor, what do the people in Indianapolis think you'd get back for him? Do they believe he's worthy of a first-round pick or multiple picks? What is the asking price, you think, for Jonathon Taylor?
I think first and foremost, people are like, yeah, you can get it first. And while I kind of do agree a little bit, depending on where the pick lands, I think Colts fans tend to forget that this is the Jonathon Taylor from this year, not last year. Maybe last year, coming off leading the league and rushing and, his big kind of breakout year. Maybe last year you can ride that hype train and go, yeah, we can get a first-round pick. But after this year, when you start negotiations, ask it. You ask for a first. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you want 10 grand, ask for 20, then you'll get the 10. So I think when you ever head into it, I think, yeah, you can go in there going, yeah, I want to first. Obviously, people will go the Christian McCaffrey trade and compare that to Jonathan Taylor's situation, which is, I would say, a little bit of a disadvantage. I think McCaffrey's a very, very, very special talent going into a very explosive offense. I think Jonathan Taylor is a little bit less than that. He's not as important enough in the passing game. But I think you could get a first for Jonathan Taylor, depending on the team. But mostly, I think second rounder and maybe a fourth or something coming your way is more likely to come to you.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, Josh, what do you think? I mean, Jonathan Taylor, is he a guy, if you're an organization, you're saying, I'm going to trade out my number one pick in 2023 to get a premier running back? Is that an important position?
If I'm a running back away, like the Buffalo Bills, yeah, for sure. I would take Jonathan Taylor in a heartbeat. But if you're a team that has a bunch of holes, like almost every team in the NFL, no. Like Mario nailed it. The running backs are such a commodity. What's the point of giving up the farm for one player, especially a guy that had a down season with everything that's going on in Indianapolis? Jonathan Taylor's a great running back, but that position is such a – it seems like every year, man, you're getting like Brian Robinson and Najee Harrison. Even Alabama has like two guys coming out every draft. There's so many running backs in every single draft. Why would you give up so much for one guy?
I mean, Josh Jacobs wasn't even a starter at Alabama. He leads the NFL in rushing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But when you just said Jonathan Taylor to the Bills, I didn't even think about it. As Mario was talking, I'm trying to think of, the other 31 teams and who needs Jonathan Taylor the most. God, when you said Buffalo, how scary is that? I mean, Buffalo is a top 4 team in the NFL, and to see if they added Jonathan Taylor, because if you're the Bills, you're like, how long do we want Josh Allen to take a beating? It would be fantastic to have a guy like Jonathan Taylor on your team.
Yeah, even the Kansas City Chiefs, they're relying on Isaiah Pacheco, another rookie running back. There's a few teams in the league that are running back away from really doing something. But Jonathan Taylor, interesting situation, what happens with him going forward, because the Colts need a lot of help.
They do. I want to ask you guys about the Raider-Patriots game again, because this is the play that will last forever. All right, we talk about this all the time as far as, what are the plays that stand out in your mind? Everyone talks about the Mark Sanchez butt fumble, right? We all know where we were when we saw Mark Sanchez embarrass himself, and a lot of people think that was the end of his career and the embarrassment of that. The Patriots situation, it's not the end of exactly of anyone's career. I mean, but it's one of those, like, I can't believe a team just lost that way, especially a team that's supposed to be the smartest team in the NFL, and that's the Patriots, prepared for every possible situation. Mac Jones has become a meme, getting stiff-armed by Chandler Jones. It's just absolutely amazing, embarrassing, one of the craziest things we've ever seen. What has been surprising to me is what has happened back east is when you're hearing reports that Patriot fans are saying enough with Bill Belichick, that all of a sudden they're saying maybe Bill Belichick's time has come to an end and the Patriots need to move forward with a different head coach, a different front office, different assistant coaches, a different way of thinking of how to win NFL games. Are you guys surprised there's any heat at all on Bill Belichick, who people would say arguably is the greatest coach in NFL history?
Yes or no? I think Bill Belichick has been a little bit too ballsy, if you will, putting Matt Patricia as the OC when he was a bad head coach and he was on the defensive side with the Lions and everything that happened before. How good do you think your roster is where you can afford to put Matt Patricia, guys never called plays, on the offensive side? It makes no sense at all. That roster that Bill Belichick's always had, despite, Tom Brady and Randy Moss, Rob Gronkowski, three superstars. How many superstar players can you name from those Patriots teams? Not many. I've always thought Bill Belichick hasn't done a good job of putting these teams together. He does find a few guys, diamonds in the rough, like Wes Welker and Julian Edelman, those guys. But for the 20, he's been there like 21 years with the Patriots, 22 years. There hasn't been many great players that he's picked up through the draft. If I was a Patriots fan, I'd get a little bit upset with that aspect. Talking about the play that just happened with the Raiders, wow. Talk about something that Bill Belichick's not known for. But you got to kind of question. The quote is, there's two things that coaches do. They either coach it or they allow it. And Bill Belichick allowed it.
I said this at the last show, and I'll say it again. I'll never forget my dad looked at me and goes, that was so unlike a Belichick team. And it really was. It was just so unlike it. It was almost like, was it the Miami Dolphins? They lost in the Hail Mary and Gronk was playing safety. You're like, wait, how did that seriously just happen?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all that people are kind of calling for Belichick to walk out the door. Yeah, remember, this is Boston. They love you and then they hate you in an hour, depending on how your success is doing. I mean, this is the guy, this is the city that, if you guys remember sitting at this time last year, Ime and the Celtics were the trash of the town. People talked, let's break up Tatum and Brown. Let's do this. Let's do this. Then they go make it the NBA Finals. Now they're having success. And it's like, please don't ever let them leave. Let's build statues of them everywhere. Kick off Larry Bird. Let's have these guys as everywhere we can. So it doesn't surprise me that they are saying this. And Bill Belichick has not done himself any favors. You said it, Josh. Matt Patricia calling your offensive plays. Seriously? Like, you got to be a little bit smarter than that. It's a defensive guy that, look at his head coaching. Obviously, he can only coach one side of the ball. There's anything at that time in Detroit. Offense sucked. Defense wasn't terrible, but offense very much sucked. So it's like, I think it's a mixture of Boston's that city where as soon as you go a little bit bad, they're on you. Red Sox is getting that right now. And it's also of Bill Belichick. Do yourself a little bit of favor and get a high-profile player at receiver. Get an actual offensive mind to help out Mac Jones. Because right now, big boy Patricia with the pencil in the ear is just not going to get it done.
Okay, so a couple things with the Patriots is, do you remember this? Tom Brady was never the highest-paid quarterback in the NFL. And he always gave money back because they said, we're going to use that money to go get you help, Tom. So if you don't take the entire amount that you could possibly get, we're going to use that money to go get someone else. And remember, they really didn't. Like, I always used to think, if I'm Tom Brady, I'm a little frustrated. Like, wait a second, you got me Randy Moss for this few years. It was awesome. We didn't win a Super Bowl, but man, I never had more fun or was more successful than when I had Randy Moss. I need another superstar, a Devontae Adams type guy that's a difference maker. All they did was go out and get other guys. And sometimes they even got rid of his friends. Like, hey, I'm going to give money back. Oh, that's weird. Danny Woodhead, you're gone. You know what I mean? Julian Edelman, those kind of guys would have to step in because they got rid of Welker. They got rid of Amendola. And they didn't take care of Tom Brady. Bill Belichick always had to come off as the smartest guy going. If I'm not mistaken, you guys correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm not being facetious and just asking a question that I know the answer to. But I believe I'm right, if my memory's right. Do you remember the NFL came out before this season and they said you had to have a certain amount of female staff and you needed to name coordinators. You needed to have an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. And then Belichick said, oh, yeah, well, I'm not going to name an offensive coordinator this year and I'm not going to name a defensive coordinator this year. And then Matt Patricia ended up just being the play caller, but he doesn't have the title role as offensive coordinator. That's not his title. There is not a defensive coordinator as that title role with the Patriots, where Bill Belichick went out and said, you're going to tell me how I'm supposed to run my organization after all these years because you're trying to create an agenda to get a certain amount of females on my staff? Well, guess what? I'm not going to have those positions anymore. They're just going to be coaches. And I know 100% he has said, we have coaches. We don't have people with titles anymore. And that he kind of went that avenue. Things have backfired on him, not only this year, but since Tom left. If you look at Bill Belichick's record, and I'm a fan, I'm not trashing Belichick. If you look at his career record, he has a losing record in the NFL without Tom Brady, which is bizarre to think of with all the championships he's won and all the Super Bowl appearances. I don't think there's anyone here or even an NFL fan would say Belichick's a terrible coach. He's not. But Mario, you pointed it out. Once you win a Super Bowl, all of a sudden as a fan base, you have that craving for another one and you're addicted to it. And we need another one. That was a great feeling. We need another one. And then you go through some of these teams that don't have one, like the Chargers don't have one, or the Arizona Cardinals, where if Belichick got blown out of New England and he was like, I still want to coach, and let's say the Arizona Cardinals hired Belichick, what do you think people in Arizona would be doing? They'd be doing cartwheels in the desert. They'd be freaking out that they got Bill Belichick as their head coach. Whereas New England's like, man, you know what? The game passed the old man by. We needed a complete overhaul. We needed to change things because what just wasn't working with the Bill anymore. He doesn't see the same game the rest of the NFL sees.
That's interesting. Do you think players on the team are kind of over him being like an older guy? Because I look at these other old coaches like Pete Carroll and Andy Reid, and they're crushing it, right? So it's kind of interesting. If I was in charge, would I want an old coach or a young coach?
Okay, I'm going to cut you off more on that one. I'll say this. From what we see on TV, Pete Carroll's energetic as hell. Pete Carroll's the oldest coach in the NFL, but Pete Carroll looks like, you know what, I'm excited to get up today. The sun came up. I can't ready to go. Let's go play some football. Like, he's always that guy. He was Malibu Pete at USC. He was that guy that when they worked on the goal line drills, that Pete was jumping on top of the pile, right? You've all seen those videos where they hand the ball to Lindell White and everyone's, slamming into each other, 22 guys. Here comes the 23rd guy, and it's Pete Carroll jumping in too, like a maniac. But he shows you how much he loved it. He's always fired up. Andy Reid, you could tell with his sense of humor and the way he talks and his passion for the game, he's 100% in. And maybe it's just the vibe of Belichick that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but he looks miserable 24/7. And when you're losing games, who wants to be around somebody that looks miserable?
I think, too, Bill's known for the Patriot way, right? And that's strict coaching. This is what you say to media. This is, you do this, this, and this, and you don't break any rules. You do that. I think when you win, so easy to go along with it. So easy to really buy in. But when you start losing, it's really, I have to keep my phone off me the whole time in the building. Really, I have to, drink straight coffee and not add a little creamer. Like, just, that's probably not a rule. I'm just throwing stuff in. But when you have
sounds real.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like some bill like don't put no cream for any of you. But when you are under a strict coach, you're under this strict regime and you're winning and you have success, it's very easy to buy in. But when you're losing, it's like, hey, how about you go after yourself? How about you screw off? You get off my back. If you're going to be so strict on me, I can't do these things. Well, guess what? It's not working. So whatever you think we're doing that's so strict, it's not working. So I'm not going to abide by that anymore. I think that's a little bit what's happening to Bill. And we're also in a day of age where the strict coaches, if you so will, the Bob Knights, the screaming, the no tolerance stuff, it doesn't work well with guys anymore. It just doesn't. It just in this day and age, you don't get as reaction as you could, early on with Dave 1,000 years ago was in high school, and you could do that. Like you don't. There isn't that anymore. It's where like you kind of have to show. I don't want to say respect because that seems very just mean, but
fear. It's fear. They're trying to coach through fear.
I don't think you can motivate by fear as much as you could back in the day anymore. I think Bill kind of uses that a little bit to his favor.
We talked about the last show, the last franchise you want to get drafted by. Without Tom Brady, I think the New England Patriots for me would be like a top 5 franchise. I'd be like, damn, I really don't want to go there. They're not very good. Tom Brady's not going to give me a chance of winning a Super Bowl. The jerseys suck. It's cold. There's nothing cool. Seriously, what's cool about the Patriots? Like, seriously, I wouldn't want to be there. Am I off on that?
I think it's I would just be like to say like, hey, I played for Belichick. I would like that. Like, that's kind of cool. But I do agree with you. It's like I really want to go play in Boston where if I, don't catch this ball, I'm getting here. Oh, what are you doing? Like getting that. I'm getting something thrown at me or something. Like I'm all set on that. Like, thank you very much. I'll see you at the next team, boss. But I kind of agree with you. And there's not a lot of things in place. I personally, on my part for Bill, I would question more, is Mac Jones really an NFL QB? Like I said earlier, like he's my guy that's overhyped. I wasn't that big a fan of last year. I don't think has everything. And yeah, I don't know. I think New England's a disaster. Anyways, Mac Jones sucks. Bill's losing it.
All right,
that's just my personal take.
I'll say this: the one thing I'll say to defend Mac Jones. It's all I'm gonna say. I'm not a Patriots guy, and obviously followed Mac Jones for a number of years in college, who beat Justin Fields in the national championship game. You know why? Because he had talent around him. He had coaching and he had talent around him. And so when you sit there and you look at a guy like Justin Fields, all he does is run for his life and get injured all the time. And I look at a guy like Mac Jones, who has no coaching around him and no talent around him. I'm looking at the same kid that 2 years ago was considered a very accurate passer. Now he doesn't have a ton of time. I'm not saying Mac Jones is a top 10 quarterback. I don't know what Mac Jones is. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what kind of NFL quarterback is. He might be terrible. He might be number 32. I just don't know. My point is the Patriots have done nothing to help him out. Matter of fact, he's in the worst situation in the NFL. He has a defensive coordinator calling offensive plays for him, and he has 0 offensive guys on that side of the ball that are Pro Bowl players. And you just go, man, what do you expect them to do? You're giving them basically nothing to work with. And so I just don't know what you have. I feel bad for his situation. I think he's unfortunate. And again, nothing against Fields. I was just taking a shot because Mario's close to Chicago. But overall, I just don't know. I think anyone in that Patriot system right now is going, this isn't the old Patriots.
Yeah. Did Mac Jones getting pushed into the earth last week by Chandler Jones was the first thing I thought of was Pulp Fiction when Marcellus gets hit by that stray bullet in the crosswalk. He's like, or the chick gets hit. That
the girl
gets hit.
Right,
the girl gets hit. And she's like just trying to help out. Like Mac Jones is just watching the final play, trying to go to overtime, and he just gets thrown into the earth. It's like, dude, what the hell just happened? But anyway, I want to transition.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you real quick before you transition. I want to throw this out because now I'm dying to know.
Yeah.
Give me two of your favorite coaches in the NFL. Your two. I'll go first if you want.
Go.
While you guys think about it, my two favorite coaches in the NFL, meaning that I wish they were the coach of the team that I like the most. I would take Mike Tomlin in a heartbeat for Pittsburgh. They run through walls for that guy. Yeah. This is going to be his first losing season, and I would take Andy Reid. Those to me are the two guys that I think are the best guys who have been around the league for a long time. I think they're smart and they know how to communicate.
I go same two, and then my third would be Harbaugh. That would be my three.
Shanahan and probably Tomlin. I really like Tomlin in Pittsburgh, but Shanahan's a freaking thing. At one point I want to see him with the franchise quarterback and not franchise running backs from 20 years ago.
How great was that clip of Tomlin a couple weeks ago where he's walking through the hallway on the way to the field, and that guy on the side yells at him, "Hey, Mike, go get him today!" And he just turns and yells, cusses right at the guy with a giant cross around his neck. Yeah. He just yells, "I'm effing working," I'm
working.
You're like,
I love that.
Hey, don't mess with Mike Tomlin. It reminded me of Mr. T when he's going to the ring in Rocky III and he just punches that fan out of nowhere. That was Mike Tomlin. Like, hey, I'm focused on something. Don't bother me. Don't call my name.
All right, I want to transition into something that the fans care about a lot, including us. I mean, I don't care too much, but it does bother me when one of our guys doesn't make the Pro Bowl. And Austin Ekeler falls in the category of a snub, in my opinion, complete snub that didn't make the Pro Bowl. He has 14 total touchdowns. He's fifth in the league in receiving as a running back, and he doesn't make it to the Pro Bowl. Do you think that's a complete snub, Mario?
Biggest of all time. Like, really, have you watched any football this year that see that Ekeler is a top 5, top 3 running back in the league? It truly makes no sense to me. He leads all running backs in receiving yards by a very wide margin. The only closest one to him is Christian McCaffrey, who's a unique talent in himself. And then you look at, his rushing numbers are low. I get that. His doesn't have a great O-line. Very hard for him to create. I completely get that. When you see the unbelievable games that Nick Chubb have, Derrick Henry, where they run for 1,000 yards, it's very Josh Jacobs. It's easy to, here's my vote. I'm going with them. But my response to that too is his rushing touchdowns is 8th in the NFL. So if he sucks that much running the ball on the ground and still is top 10 in rushing touchdowns in the NFL, it's still pretty impressive. And then you go on top of that, and he's tied for first for most receiving touchdowns of any running back. That's a lot of categories that kind of point Ekeler's directions. It was the biggest robbery, in my opinion. I was rattled and surprised by it all. And quite honestly, just more of like, this is such a popularity contest and nothing more.
You're exactly right. It's a popularity contest. I mean, the other guys who made it. Give me the guys who made it. Josh, do you have it in front of you? I'll just say off the top of my head. Tell me if I'm wrong. It's Chubb, it's Derrick Henry, it's Josh Jacobs, right? Those are the ones in front of them? Am I correct on that? Okay, yes. So what do those guys have in common? They're first-round picks, right? Or not. Derrick Henry's not a first-round pick. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, second-round pick. But those are all guys with big resumes already, big-time names. It's a popularity contest, 100%. Look where Ekeler's taken. We talk about the games that Charger fans or the Charger team is usually playing in front of across the country. And unless you're on the West Coast and you're catching every single Charger game, you don't realize how good he is. Even though he's shown up on national TV, a bunch of times this year, it's still not the same name. And, we brought this up to you, Mario, last week about being in Indianapolis. How many times are the Chargers on TV? Now, they aren't on your regular channels most of the time. So Ekeler doesn't get the credit he deserves. This is one of those where I think if the broadcasters actually voted, that he would get credit for what he deserves. Whereas the fan vote, in this whole thing where the NFL encourages the fans are important, Who was the number one quarterback as far as fan vote goes this year?
Tua
How did he do?
didn't make it.
Yeah, that's the NFL telling the fans you don't mean jack squat to us. We don't care. We want your money and we really don't care about your opinion. You just sit in that seat right there and keep supporting our product, because anything that you're going to take time to do to vote, it obviously doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. It's a huge slap in the face to the fans.
I think the Pro Bowl has been a joke for as long as I can remember. Yeah. Okay, if we had to rank All-Star games, I'm going Major League Baseball. I love the Major League Baseball All-Star game. Maybe I'm one of the few. I like the Major League Baseball All-Star game. I like the NBA All-Star game. Distant third is the NFL Pro Bowl. It's so bad. So I really don't care. But the disrespect on Austin Ekeler has been out of this world. He's the opposite of TJ Watt, who made the Pro Bowl in 7 games with 4 sacks. Congratulations, dude.
It's not even a high school
7
season.
games. 7 games, dude. Khalil Mack's like, you made the team? You know, what the hell?
What are you doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing here? Thought I was the only one. But it's nuts, dude. It's nuts. So Austin Ekeler, definite snub. And Justin Herbert, too. I think Justin Herbert definitely should have been on the Pro Bowl roster.
Him being I think he was second alternative was the one I was like, I'd go
Alternate.
first. Yeah, alternate, my bad.
By the way, he will get it. You understand?
Yeah.
People are gonna pull out of this thing, or they're gonna be in the Super Bowl, whatever. And here's the issue: is if you don't get it, like Austin Ekeler, just like every other guy in the NFL, it's written in their contracts. If you're a Pro Bowl player, you get a huge bonus. You know, you're a Pro Bowl player, you get maybe $500,000, $1 million. It's a big deal. So, you know, fan base is like, oh, what's the big deal? The game doesn't mean anything. It matters to the players. It matters to the organization also, as, you know, proof and pride that you got in.
It's money. It's money.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that money factor. And we you know what we should do for the pod is fix the Pro Bowl. Because I agree, the Pro Bowl is terrible. Like, they need more. Like, you know, at baseball, you got the home run derby. Everyone's watching the home run derby. I don't care if you don't even watch baseball. Dude, that's one of the best things ever is to be outside in the summer and you literally get to watch guys hit a ball as hard as they can. Probably juice the balls a little bit completely for it. Hell, even give them steroids before it. I'm all for it. Just more exciting, the better. And then you have, for NBA, you have, you know, the dunk contest, a 3-point contest. Everyone loves those. You know, those get people overreact to him. Aaron Gordon making a whole documentary saying he got robbed at his slam dunk contest. Crazy. But the NFL needs something like that just to make it a little bit more entertaining. But I do feel bad for Ekeler in terms of, yeah, it's a lot of money you just missed out on because voters are not watching all the games as they should.
You know how you fix the Pro Bowl, honestly? You play the game in the middle of the season. There are guys whose seasons are going to come to an end. Let's say you're the Rams. You're Aaron Donald. Your season's coming to an end. Now you're asking me to come back and play in another game 5-6 weeks after my season ended? Dude, I've been eating ice cream nonstop. Are you crazy? I don't want to go in and sit there and do this thing. You play. Here's how it make it really exciting. We all talk about the gambling aspect of this game. You sit there and you go, we're going to play this game in the middle of the season. We always talk about they need another bye or they need to do a bye where everybody has a bye at the same time. And you take the best players like the All-Star games in the other leagues. You play it in the middle of the year, and guess what? The winning team, every guy gets $2 million. The losing team, you get jack squat. And guess what? You're going to get a hell of a game with the best football players on the field at one time.
I would go one further. I would do strictly one-on-ones. I would go, I want Aaron Donald versus Nelson. And we do a one-on-one. And you get the bet on it.
Yeah, and you get to bet on it. And what does the player get? You got to give the player something. The player has to make out. Like if Aaron Donald wins, he gets $1 million or $500,000.
Yeah.
You got to make it worth his while. Aaron Donald's making, $100 million in his contract.
Yeah.
You got to make it worth it.
Yeah, you juiced it up a ton, but like I mean, I would love to see Adams versus Sauce Gardner one-on-one out of 5 times, and you get like a winner, and there's a bonus in the end. I'd rather watch that. And mic them both up, and you hear them talk trash. Have HBO do it so they can don't bleep out everything. Give me that. I would take that 100%.
I think it's important that the loser gets nothing. The winner, it's all or nothing. Make it hurt.
Yeah, Dave's on no participation trophy.
No participation trophy. No.
Let's you want to do our picks for the week?
Yeah, let's get into it.
And let's not forget to do our picks to click. We forgot last week.
Let's start there. Okay, you go first. Who are your picks to click this weekend?
Go ahead. I get to go first. Okay,
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, I'm gonna go on defense first, and you guys are gonna think I'm absolutely crazy. All right, I'm going Drew Tranquil. Is my pick on defense. Okay.
No, it's a good pick. Yeah.
Okay. You don't say it like you're actually behind me on that 100%.
He
But
was
okay.
balling last week. Last 2
Okay.
weeks, he's been balling.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going. He's going to be my guy on defense. And on offense, I'm going as far as a hate game because he got snubbed this week. I'm going Austin Ekeler.
What? Give me your reasoning behind Tranquil.
I just have a feeling that the Colts are going to have to run the ball. I just, you talk about the, Pittman and how good he might be and everything else. And I've been watching Pittman for a long time, from college and understand he's great. I'm the idiot that drafted him in fantasy football last year and everyone told me I was dumb. You still got to get him the ball. Pittman's not going to be anything if Foles can't get him the ball. He's not going to take the snap from center. So I have zero faith that Foles is going to be able to get him the ball on a consistent basis. I think they're going to have to run the ball to help Foles out to establish the pass.
What's your score prediction?
Score prediction in this game. Here we go. Chargers get 30 in this game for the first time in forever. Okay. Chargers 30, exactly at 30. Colts at 17.
Okay. All right, Mario, you want to go? Picks a click and score prediction.
Yeah, I'll go. So defensively, I'm gonna go with Michael Davis. As you said, Michael Pittman Jr. Yeah.
Damn it.
Was he your guy? Really?
I was gonna go Michael Davis, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's been playing phenomenal the past 2 weeks. They've been a huge part of these passing defense, having stepped up, kept both Tua and why am I blanking on the other one? I have it in my notes. Tannehill. Of course I forgot Tannehill because he sucks. So kept Tannehill and Tua.
He's out for the rest
of the season. Kept him under 150 yards passing. Like he stepped up. He's been a huge part of that. I think we need to take Pittman out of the game to make it life really hard on Nick Foles and go, hey, we're going to take away your number one. Play around with who you have left. And let you know right now, if Paris Campbell has a day on us, Congratulations, 1 in a million. So he's my defensive guy. Offensive guy. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to go Ekeler too because of the All-Star thing and because Colts secondary is not as weak as people think. I mentioned before Gilmore is a pretty stud back there. But also, the past couple of games, I mean, they kind of shut down Hurts a little bit. Only 190 yards passing. Kenny Pickett, 2-glove Pickett, not the best quarterback, but only threw for 174. Dak only went for 170. So I think it could be a big day on the ground for Ekeler, and Ekeler can get in the end zone a little bit, do a little celebration, and let everybody know that, hey, yeah, he has messed up, and I got snubbed from the Pro Bowl game. I said All-Star before, didn't I? I 100% said All-Star. Not Pro Bowl.
It's okay. You're
yeah,
right.
I'll fix that in the editing. And then for final score, so here's gonna be my big prediction going off of the past couple of weeks in Colts football. Colts are gonna be up at halftime. Colts are gonna be up. They're gonna be up 17. I'm gonna go 17-7 at half.
Oh my gosh!
Sure, write this down. So we're gonna be up 17-7 at half. People remember Dallas Cowboys scored 33 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Colts 54-19. That's a don't look now on your TV. The Vikings, people remember, they were down 33-0 against the Colts, and they came back and scored 39 points and ended up beating the Colts 39-36. I think that happens. 28-17, Chargers beat the Colts. Big halftime comeback, big second half comeback again.
Okay. I like it. All right, I'm going to go defense first. I'll go Bryce Callahan. I think he's an unsung hero of this Chargers team. Definitely like the way he's been playing all year. They're going to try to force feed Michael Pittman. Somebody on that defense is going to get a pick for sure, I think, this game. And then on offense, I'm going Mike Williams. They're 30th in red zone defense. Like we say all season, throw that thing up to Mike Williams. It's not a 50-50 ball when it's to Mike Williams. So I think Mike Williams definitely has a touchdown this game. And then score prediction, I'm going to go 37-23, which means that's definitely not going to happen. It's going to be much closer because I'm always wrong about that. So Chargers, I go 37-23 with the big victory. And something's got to give, right? This game, Chargers third quarter offense is the worst we've ever seen. And the second half defense for the Colts is like the worst we've ever seen. So this is the something's got to give game. So I'm really interested to see how the Chargers play in the third quarter of this game.
All right, good deal.
Yeah,
right,
you want to do your
pick.
picks? You gotta go first this time. I love when you go first. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I had a winning record last week. It didn't finish as hot as I hoped, but I had a winning record.
You did.
Yeah. You had a losing record.
How did that happen?
But
It's weird.
it's all, in his defense, it wasn't a bad losing record. Like 7-9 is not terrible.
Nah.
It's losing. It gets you fired in the NFL.
Gets you fired. Hey, 10-6 get you fired too. If you're Lovie Smith.
14-2 gets you fired sometimes too. That's Marty Schottenheimer. All right.
Jeez, that hurts.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Who's
You have the lines, Mario?
Yeah, I got the lines. All right, Dave. So for reference to everybody, all the listeners, all the viewers, make sure catch us on YouTube. Put in Bold City. You should come up. You'll see 3 beautiful men. That is us talking Chargers football. And subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Dave is 15-27-1.
Oh, that's awful.
Josh, the quarterback whisperer, 23-19-1. And then Mario, myself, I don't know what nickname to give myself. I'll just call it Degenerate. 21-21-1. And then Jesus's classmate, Dave, is, like I said, 15-27-1. Dave, let's go first. What do we got?
Right.
We got Jets -2.5 versus Jags.
Wow, the Jets are favored in this one. Oh boy, everything's telling me go Jags. All right, I'm gonna go Jags. I'm hoping the Jets pull this game out, believe it or not.
I got Buffalo -8.5 against the Chicago Bears.
I'll take the Bills.
Got the New Orleans Saints going up north, getting a little cold weather. Cleveland Browns, Cleveland -3.
Cleveland. I keep waiting for Deshaun to put it together. I'm going Cleveland.
And we have a new starting QB in Nashville, and they are home against the Texans -3.5.
Boy, Texans are playing better than people think. Malik Willis is absolutely terrible. I believe, though, that this losing streak for the Titans finally comes to an end. I'm going Titans.
And Seattle goes to Kansas City. Kansas City -10 favorite.
Yeah, that's a big number right there. I'm going KC, though.
Really?
Yes. Have you seen Seattle lately? Look at Seattle's record from what they were.
That's true. What have you
Geno
done for them
Smith,
lately?
remember we had him comeback player of the year? Probably not anymore. Go ahead.
He's still like a heavy favorite, which is crazy.
Max. People don't pay attention.
Giants at Minnesota. Minnesota -4.
I'll take the Vikes. That's a tough one, believe it or not.
Bengals are -3 favorite at Boston, at New England.
At New England, god dang, that's what 1972 when they were the Boston Patriots. I'm going against the Patriots in this one.
And Lions, this is the craziest line of all time. Lions are -2.5 favorite over the Panthers.
I'll go Lions.
All right, Falcons.
I think that's an easy. That's one where you
Easier-
should actually open the wallet on. Like it makes you nervous. Like what does Vegas know? Okay.
Yeah, nothing. Falcons, Ravens 6.5 point favorite.
Ravens.
Okay. And then Commanders, Niners. Niners are 7.5.
Niners.
You said that with a lot of confidence. Chase Young's back in that one. Cowboys, Eagles. Cowboys -4.5.
Chase Young hasn't played in a year. Wait, I'm sorry. Cowboys, Eagles. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, -4.5.
I'm going Eagles. I think that's another game to bet on. I don't understand why people are so afraid. Gardner Minshew's not some scrub. He's actually won some big games.
He's not a bad quarterback in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's when I'd open the wallet up on too. I like the Lions and I like the Eagles this week.
Steelers -2.5 over the Raiders.
Damn it. Franco Harris died. It's all going to be one of those things. Win it for Franco, number 32. The whole immaculate reception. It's kind of sad that they were going to honor Franco Harris this weekend on the greatest play in the history of the NFL. And here we go, a couple days away from Franco Harris and the Steelers and the most memorable moment of his life. And he died a couple days early. I think Steelers momentum, man, end up taking it to the Raiders. I think this is one of those you got to win for Franco.
The Packers face Dolphins. Dolphins -4.
I'm going Packers.
And then we got Broncos -2.5 versus the Rams.
Oh boy, what a bad game. I'm going Rams. God dang it. I mean, it's so bad. It's one of those
Really
where
bad.
it's just super glue my eyelids open because I'm going to fall asleep.
Buccaneers -7.5 point favorite over the Cardinals.
Buccaneers. Another game I don't want to watch.
Chargers, Colts, and you have Chargers.
Chargers 37.
Yeah,
I love the
Chargers.
fact all three of us picked the Chargers to hit 30 points, by the way, this week.
I am just below at 28.
What's the line? What are they favored by?
Oh, you are 28. God damn,
Yeah.
you aren't even a team guy.
Chargers are -40. I mean, not -4. I'm sorry. I was looking at something else. That's over under. -4.5.
Okay.
Oh,
I
so
like
I'm
that.
going Chargers, obviously.
Going opposite
Okay.
of you still, though. But keep going.
Every pick?
I'm sorry.
Every pick you're going to go out.
It's worked 2 out of
I like
every
that.
week. 66% of the time it works.
Hold on. I know. Yeah, that's true. I know right off the bat, though, in your head. I know you. I can read your brain. Number one, you know the Lions are going to knock out the Panthers. You know that's the case. You just have to sit there and stand your ground.
The game's in Carolina. I mean, who knows, man?
Carolina
Okay.
players have been playing up. They're up for Coach Steve.
Their
over there.
defense is good. Really good.
And the
Hey.
okay. Fine.
Big Lions believer, huh? You've always been one of those.
Yeah.
No,
You've been
never
saying
have
that
I.
all year.
Yeah, I said he'd be the first coach fired. And then I don't blame Josh on this one. I could tell by reading his eyes when I said it. He thinks 100% the Dolphins are going to cover against the Packers. Am I right? Games in
For
Miami?
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I should change my pick right now just so he has to pick the Packers. Damn it.
Yeah, none of that.
That
The last
Packers
time you
team
did that,
sucks.
lost.
It sucks.
What did he say?
What?
The
What
last
did
time
you
you
say,
did that,
sucks?
it lost.
Yeah, I can't nail
That's
that.
true.
What?
That's a good point.
What did
No,
he
I'm just
say?
saying dude, when Mario's naming these games, I'm like, this team sucks. This team sucks. Like almost every game. I'm like, geez, God. Sorry, keep going.
All right.
All right, so it's Mario's turn since Josh made it really easy. Go ahead,
All right.
Mario. Let's hear what you got.
So it's easy money, Jags +2.5. Ride the hot. Jacksonville's hot. Zach Wilson in prime time in New York. That's pretty much an away game for him with how much they hate him there. So give me the Jags on that one. Buffalo against the Bears. Give me Buffalo. Bears
Wow.
don't have like every single guy out. 2 guys on the O-line out, plus Claypool, who is a waste of space anyways, but he's out for the Bears and their third string is not very good. So sadly, I hate to agree. Browns -3. At some point they're gonna get it together, and Saints aren't very good. I hate riding with Dave, but I like -3.5. Titans. I disagree with you. Seattle to cover +10. No, I
With
think
Kansas
no shot.
City? In
Yeah.
Kansas City? Okay.
Yeah. I think Carroll gets the guys up for that, and 10's a big number.
It is
10's
a
a
big
very
number.
big number. And Chiefs,
Haven't been
they're
playing
slowing
well.
down. Yeah.
They don't look great.
And they don't need to blow them out. They just need to win. Giants at Minnesota. This is the who's a bigger fraud alert game
I
for
agree.
me.
Good call.
And I still think, sadly,
It's tough. People say Minnesota's the most overrated team in the football.
yeah, I think give me Giants to cover on that one.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley has a big day. Bengals, I think this is another easy bet. Bengals -3 against the Pats. Give me that all day and again on Sunday. Twice on Sunday. That's a saint.
Okay.
Yeah. Praise be. Lions -2.5 big time over the Panthers. I think that's the lock of the day. That's in like my bets. Get you on BetQL Daily tomorrow from 9 to 12 where I give out my best bets. That's going to be my best bet right there.
Okay.
Falcons, Ravens. Give me, sadly, Falcons because Ravens are on a backup. And
What are the Falcons on? Are the Falcons on a backup too?
Desmond
They
Ridder,
started
who's
this-
apparently
yeah.
the QB of the future.
Yeah, well, future of what? Future of
Yeah.
what? I mean, technically, the Falcons, they started the season with a backup in Mariota, and now they're like on the third string guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
future.
Future.
Aren't you 15-27? Is that your record?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's talking like he's 100% up top.
Yeah.
Like, what are
What are we doing
yeah,
over there?
yeah.
Okay.
Why are you being a
think you
Denver Bronco
literally-
fan talking
Didn't you
smack right
end
at
up
the
punching
bottom?
yourself in the face over the Falcons?
You gotta walk 1,000 miles over the Falcons.
I won. I won that one.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I
That's
won.
right.
I'm not walking anywhere.
Uh,
I'm an escalator guy.
Niners, Commanders.
Okay.
This give me Commanders. I think it's a big number, and Rivera has a really good hold of that team, and they play hard for that man, and they still have a big shot at the playoffs. So give me
You
Commanders.
just said Shanahan was your favorite coach.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I have to take him every week. Dame Lillard's my favorite NBA player, but I'm not tossing Blazers money line every single day.
All right, go ahead.
Welcome to gambling. Can't bet with your heart. Eagles, Cowboys. Give me Eagles. I think Minshew starting is going to confuse
I love
the
that
hell
you picked Minshew.
out of the Cowboys. That's a big game plan change.
It
Big
is.
game plan change. Raiders, Steelers. Sadly, I think Steelers win because I got to live with Steeler fan before, and that was one of the worst experiences of my life. Shout out Bob though, great guy. Always fade the Packers. Dolphins win easily.
Did Bob have the terrible towel on the wall with thumbtacks?
Yeah, he
I
had the
know
terrible
it.
towel.
Every Steeler fan does.
Yeah, every Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I peed on it one time because I was really mad at him. Broncos at Rams. Give me Broncos in that one. And then what we got left? I'll take Bucks and then Chargers. Boom, bada bing. Here we go.
Does Bob know you urinated on his terrible towel?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe he just found out. Okay.
No.
Yeah, my picks go opposite of Dave as always.
But do you want Chargers still Chargers at the end though?
Yes.
Yeah, switch that
Okay.
one. Let me get Chargers, and
Okay.
then I want to hear Mario's overtime game of the week.
Whew. The overtime game of the week. So this takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort. This takes lots of research, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. Tears for the wallet, tears from the old lady, tears from the mother. But at the end of the day, someone's got to do it. And the overtime game of the week, we'll see it for free football. And that free football is coming to Dallas. Dallas Eagles will go into overtime. I think it's going to go over in overtime.
Wow.
And then the Cowboys win by 3. That's going to be a close game. I think it's going to go over in overtime.
I thought you were going to go Giants Vikes is what I thought you were going to go. That's
That was a big ire. I really want. By the way, doesn't it seem like he played for the Giants at some point? Like, doesn't he seem like
he looks like that
perfect
guy.
Giants?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is one of those guys you're glad he isn't your cousin. Like, there's nothing about Kirk Cousins that's cool. You know? I don't know. Just my thought.
Yeah.
Thought I'd throw it at you.
Yeah, no.
That's it. All right, so we're back on Monday. Okay, so we're going to wish everybody a happy Christmas Eve, happy Christmas, and if you're enjoying Hanukkah right now, happy Hanukkah to you. But we're going to see you right after the game on Monday Night Football, and hopefully we're talking about another Charger win. As we said, this is the time the Chargers put a winning streak together going into the postseason. Looking forward to seeing what happens Monday night. We'll be watching. Sure, you're going to be watching too, and then hopefully you'll be following us right here on the Bolt City Podcast. Again, Mario, tell them everywhere they can find this show.
So you can find us wherever you get your podcast. Just search Bolt City. You can find us on the Odyssey app as well. And then if you go to YouTube, just search Bolt City and we will pop up. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a comment, good or bad. I'll respond to all of them. Good comment, do it. But the only bad comment can be at me. So if you want to say something mean about Josh, you have to put my name in front of it. So do all that. As always, thanks you guys so much for watching, listening. We appreciate it. Thanks for supporting Bolt City. We appreciate it greatly. Go Bolts.
There you go. Again, for Josh Pele, Mario Heron, I'm Dave Pele. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for listening and watching the Bolt City Podcast, courtesy of Odyssey.